Today's lesson in loveliness is going to be on foundation. How to put it on, how to keep it on, how to color match it. First thing to do whenever you're putting on your foundation is to make sure you're working with a clean face. My favorite thing to use is Cetaphil. It's great for any skin type. You just put this on your face and wipe it off with a tissue. Don't need to use water or anything. It's really not irritating. I've got very sensitive skin. Cetaphil is excellent. And then for a moisturizer, I don't like anything that feels really junky or heavy, and again, sensitive skin, so I like the Cetaphil moisturizer as well. I just kind of slather this on. I use it on my hands, my elbows, my knees, everything. And it comes in a tub, so you've always got a lot to work with. Since I am so fair complected, it's pretty hard for me to find foundation that matches. And I, again, don't like a real heavy feeling, so most of the time what I use is L'Oreal's Airwear. The Airwear is a great wet to dry powder foundation. Comes with a little sponge applicator, and you can see where I've worn it out right there. Again, you can wear it wet or dry. I usually wear it dry. Just put it on. Makes a nice cover, but it's not heavy, and it does last a good time. Now, I have a compact at home, and I keep a compact in my purse, so during the day I can just touch myself up. But if I want to work really extra hard at spackling out sort of the wrinkles in my forehead, I've started using Nicola Roberts Dainty Doll by Pong. This isn't something you can just buy over the counter right now. It's an import only, and it cost £15 plus shipping, which really isn't bad. But this is the medium color. It's ivory. There are 3 colors in this collection. It's made specifically for women who are very fair complected. Best way to make sure that a foundation matches your skin is to take some of the foundation on your finger or on a Q-tip. If you're at Sephora or Ulta, usually they've got all kinds of little things for you to try out. Start at the center of your cheek and bring it down over onto your neck, and then walk around with it for a little bit and see how it feels to you. See how it looks to you. Is it going to change colors with the chemicals of your skin? Is it going to itch? I spent a ridiculous amount of money at Borghese one time because I thought something matched and looked really good, and then I got home and I was clawing at myself because I was allergic to it. So give it some time, especially if you're making a big purchase. But if you look, you can see this is a really good match for me. If I just blend it in a little bit, you can't even really see that it's there. So I know this is a good color for me, and I'm going to put it on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take dots of color using my middle finger and dot it where I think I'm going to be able to blend it best. I like dotting color on. It keeps you from being so heavy-handed unless you use big dots. And I tend to make faces the whole time I'm putting on makeup. It stretches out my skin in areas where I need it. I always put a little bit on my eyelids. I don't spend on eyelid base. I just use my foundation for that. And even if I'm not wearing foundation on the rest of my face, I may put it on my eyelids. One thing I like about the Dainty Doll is it's creamy without being oily or heavy, so it acts as a great conduit for the rest of my makeup. Now I use a foundation brush to blend everything in. Used to use sponge tip applicators, but sometimes that's pretty streaky. Bought this for like $3 at Target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working these little dots in. It may look like I'm using a heavy hand, but I'm not. It is a really light touch. I just blend what I've got, and again, I've got moisturizer on. That moisturizer is going to help the foundation move. If you try to put foundation on, a cream foundation on without a moisturizer, it's a little more difficult to get it to move. Liquid or mousse, I think, move a little better on top of the skin. But, I like this creamy stuff. So what I do is I just work it in all over my face, working in all my little dots, and you'll see I'm taking it down past my jawline, down under my chin, onto my neck, and I'm going to work it back up and make sure it's gone up through my hairline, and I'm not going to have any streaking. It's sort of my makeup pet peeve to see a really serious baseline, especially when the foundation line stops above the jawline. I don't get that at all. So there you go. I've got my foundation on. My foundation's on. To set my foundation, I'm going to use my NYC color loose powder. I'm going to just tip it upside down and then smack my lid. That's going to get some powder into my lid. And I'll just circle my big powder brush into my lid, dust it all over my face, and onto my neck, and I'm set. That's it. That's all there is to foundation application. I got a little left, so I'm going to just dust it on again. To keep your foundation on throughout the day, your loose powder is going to be a big part, but also nothing's going to stay the whole day. So I like to take something to touch up with. What I like to touch up with is my L'Oreal Airwear, because that works well as a translucent powder as well, just because mine is so nude. But any translucent powder you can get in a compact will be great. Or rice paper is also terrific. Rice paper you can use to just blot oil away. My skin tends to be drier than oilier, so the powder works better for me. But now I have a foundation, and I can start any other makeup I like.